So those are the first 4 days of games, but it's all about what went down on Wednesday, Richard. Let's start with Inter and Sassuolo. Inter. What's that?
I was like, no, go ahead, keep going.
Okay. Inter, coming back out with Handanovic in goal, Skriniar, Ranocchio, and Bastoni across the back. Moses, Roberto Gagliardini getting a start, Borja Valero, and then Cristiano Beraghi getting a start on the left. Christian Eriksen behind, Romelu Lukaku, and this time Alexis Sanchez. And then Sassuolo making a couple of changes here. Consigli still in goal. It was Muldur on the right, Vlad Kirikes in there with Gianmarco Ferrari, Rogerio on the left, Pedro Obiang and Manganelli in midfield. In front of them, Boga, Filip Juricic, and Domenico Berardi with Francesco Caputo up front. And what a spectacle this game would be. What a performance from both teams. And it opened early, Francesco Caputo. And if he's going to have his hair dyed blonde, he's not my cousin.
But he keeps scoring. Well,
yeah, fine. Good for him. But when he goes back to his natural hair color, he can be my cousin again because we don't do that in our family. So he didn't get the memo. I guess on an assist from Filip Juricic, that made it a 0-0, so a shock lead right away for the visitors. But with how loose they are defending and how fun bad they are, you knew the goals were going to eventually come. Yeah. And then it was a foul in the penalty area. Boga, and I can't remember who it was, he clipped.
Skriniar.
Was it Skriniar? Okay. Yeah. He clipped Skriniar in the penalty area. Just enough for that to be a penalty. I mean, I didn't see a whole lot in it, but
it was the crazy part is that it was a forward defending a defender in the offensive end. And so, if it was a defender, I think he would have done a lot better at that kind of play to avoid that. Of course, somebody a little bit later we'll talk about couldn't. It was just enough where I think a penalty was warranted. It wasn't much to it, but it was enough.
And in steps Romelu Lukaku, who finishes and levels it at 1. And just before halftime, Cristiano Beraghi coming through to make it 2-1 to Inter. Now, Alex Dono hates Cristiano Beraghi. And
he gave it to him.
What's that?
It was a nice short-sighted goal.
Yeah, it was.
I like it.
But, I mean, Beraghi at Inter, I mean...
It's not what we thought it was going to be, right? We thought...
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player. There might be an issue with, I think, from his left wing back position. I think he wants to play a little freer than what Conte wants out of that. So that's why guys like Ashley Young get the minutes, because they're willing to do some of the dirty work and the tackling and the ball winning. And maybe Cristiano Beraghi is just not that player. He wants to just hang out on the left flank. He wants to get a little bit higher, and he wants to just pump in crosses.
Yeah.
And maybe doesn't want to do the rest of it. So, and that could be where you could have some conflict. So, are you surprised that it's been a struggle and that Beraghi has not gotten to what we should expect from him in this setup?
Yes, because we both saw him when he was at Torino. We thought what a great player he was, and he'd be a great asset for anybody. But he struggled, and it's got to be the tactics that each of the managers had, specifically Conte. He just, like you said, he doesn't want to adapt to what Conte wants. He wants to do what to stay on the left hand side and pumping crosses, and that's not what Conte wants. And we've seen it time and time again over the years. If you don't do what Conte wants, you're not going to get the pitch time that you deserve.
Right.
And that's probably why he doesn't help, not getting as much pitch time as he normally had. You're going to be very consistent. And it shows this season with him. But getting that goal was good for him, good confidence there. And hopefully Conte can continue to lean on him a little bit more, especially playing every 3 games.
Sure. Just a carbon copy of the Lukaku penalty happened in the second half, just about in the same area too.
Spot, yeah.
Yep. So it was Kuldur that was brought down in the penalty area this time. And Domenico Berardi steps up to make it 2-2. Game on, 81st minute. And we were in for a wild ride because just 5 minutes later, a free kick for Inter. Antonio Candreva with a curling ball towards the back post, and Borja Valero somehow Sassuolo just decided he's not very good. We can just not mark him. And he has the easiest of finishes. It's worth noting though that prior to this, you could argue that Roberto Gagliardini had an even easier chance than Borja Valero did, and he completely fluffed it.
Yeah, if that was Gagliardini right there at the end of that ball, he would have missed that as well. So, yeah, terrible miss. Oh, my goodness.
Yep. So we'll give Valero at least some credit here that he was able to finish that.
To be fair, if he left it alone, Candreva would have scored that goal. It was going in anyway, and all he did was just touch it right at that 1 inch mark and win it.
Sure, fair enough. But it's 3-2. And then just 3 minutes later, Inter can't get out of their own way, and it's Magnani who comes in as a substitute and scores in the 89th minute. And just for good measure, Milan Skriniar gets, fouls the player out of frustration, not realizing that he is on a yellow, gets the second yellow, gets sent off, is going to be suspended for this weekend's match. And who did I say Inter was playing next?
Drawing a blank.
They're playing Parma. So
could be. It's unfortunate for Inter because they got some speedy wingers over there that could really cause them some trouble. And with Skriniar's intelligence, it's going to be awfully difficult. Potentially
a blood in the water situation for Parma. Something that they're going to have to take advantage of. But this one ends 3-3. You had Roberto Gagliardini with that awful miss. You had Andrea Consigli make 6 saves in this game. And I walk away from this saying, how does Inter not get 3 points here? You want to know how they not get 3 points? Sassuolo's their bogey team. They have an awfully hard time beating them for whatever reason it is. Regardless of form, regardless of where these teams are at and all this other stuff. Sassuolo just took a spanking to Atalanta. Big deal. They're going to snatch a point from Inter anyway because that's what happens.
They are a bogey team for both Milan clubs. It's just something about the Milan water or something that they play so much better. And we said before, we said last podcast, we said they're a bogey team. Watch out for them. It's going to make it difficult for Inter. And sure enough, they did. A crazy ride, like you said, goals back and forth. But I'm not too surprised. And there's not too many people are going to be surprised. I know the most surprised people in the whole bunch is the Inter fans when they saw the lineup, because I know they didn't like. I know a bunch of them were murmuring how they didn't like the lineup pre-game, but you can't be surprised that Sassuolo played as well as they did because they had been doing it previously over the years against Inter and Milan. So good for them. And Consigli, he played poorly the 2 games. Obviously, Atalanta's gonna make everyone look poor, but he looked really bad in both games. The Baraghi goal looked like he didn't even try to make a save with his arms. I don't know what he was doing there, but still, Inter should have won that game, and they didn't.
But he still made 6 saves.
He made 6 saves. I know. It's just crazy.
Yeah. David Fonte's here. Ciao, David.
Hey, what's
Presidente,
up?
AC Milan Club Philadelphia.
Poor
Inter is right. Dropping points. They can't overcome Sassuolo.